Alright, so we are live. This is a live tutorial for my one and only buddy Joy Sareen, and we are doing OBS for Saskatoon cricket. And my Siamese cat in the background, Zero, apparently wants to provide running commentary. We are running live right now. Say hello to all the ladies out there in Radio Land, Joy. Alright, so here is how we are going to configure. This is how we're going to configure a live broadcast for OBS. Now, basically, so what we're going to do is, I actually have a secondary stream going on here. So I'm actually going to stop the stream because we did a test stream earlier. So the first thing that we're going to do when we have a stream is we actually want to, right now we have everything already configured. So basically what we need to do is we need to configure a stream, right? Because OBS needs to know where exactly to put the stream. So in order for us to do that, we actually have to go into YouTube and basically create a stream. So we're going to do that right now. I'm just taking the test stream that that Joy and I were doing earlier, and I'm just going to stop it. And I'm actually going to create a new stream. So the way we do that is we're actually going to go to studio.youtube.com. And that's the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else whatsoever. And as soon as this loads, we're going to basically configure a new stream, and we're going to basically get a stream key for it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create a live stream. So to do that, we're going to go here. Actually, I'll do that again because you didn't see what I was able to do. So the first thing I'm going to do before I even do anything in OBS whatsoever, so that I'm able to tell OBS where to put it, is I'm going to go, as I said, to studio.youtube.com, which I'm just going to reload to make it a little bit simpler here. And as you can see, it's loading the Cricket Saskatoon page. So what we're going to do when we get to this point is we're going to go to the upper right hand corner, not the very upper, but we're going to go to this icon here that says create. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit create, and then we're going to go to the second option that says go live. So we're going to click go live, and this is actually going to give us a stream. It's actually going to give us a few options here. We don't want any option other than the first one. We want this one here where it says either stream at the top if we don't want to schedule something. But in this case, we are actually going to schedule stream. So when you see this, we're going to see where you see this big blue button here. We're going to click that blue button where it says schedule stream. So I'm going to click that button right now. Now I'm actually not going to reuse the settings. I'm going to create a new one. So we're going to hit create new. And now what we're going to do is we're going to basically, I'm just going to call this tutorial test. So what we're going to do is all the information that's going to be in our broadcast is going to be here. I'm just going to call it, it doesn't really matter what. And I'm just going to go, obviously I can change the category, it doesn't really matter what. And then the thumbnails and all that. These are all things that can either be done now or can be done later. But right now we're just trying to get a stream ready so we can tell OBS where to go. So we're just going to hit next, and obviously no, it's not made for kids. And we don't really need to worry about any of this stuff. This is not, live chat is always good. So we're going to hit next. And obviously in this particular case, because it is a live cricket match, we want it to be public because we want people to be able to see it. We do want people to actually see this, don't we, Joy? Yeah. Come and see our live stream. Yeah, exactly. We can have the most exciting cricket match that nobody gets to see. Yeah, so we want to make sure.
Like it gets played and nobody gets to watch it. Even the players themselves want to watch it afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so when we're setting this up, we absolutely want to make sure that it's a public stream. And we are going to hit done. So now what is going to happen here is it's now created a stream. And now what we need to do is there's a couple of things we need to do. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to this little eye here. See where you go down here and it says stream key, paste, and encoder? We're going to hit that eye, and there's going to be this little gobbledygook stream key code. So we're actually going to copy that code. So now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take this and I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to go back into OBS. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth with this, and it's a little dizzying, but it is extremely necessary, unfortunately. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings. And when I hit settings, I'm actually going to go to the second toggle down, which is the stream output. So I'm going to go to stream, and I'm going to go to use stream key. And this is really important because this is how OBS knows what feed is going to go to that particular one. So you can see that this is actually a stream key from another feed. We don't want that. We want the stream key that we've just created. So now, well, it's actually the same stream key, but we're actually going to paste that. So now we have this. So this is actually going to send it to that file. So once this is done, we're going to take that and we're just going to go down and we're going to go to apply. Always make sure you hit apply and then OK. So now OBS knows that this is the YouTube key to use, and if you don't do that, it will not send to your stream. It will basically send to nowhere, and that's not what we want. You'll get a lot of very angry people. So now we're going to go back into our basically our YouTube, and I apologize for using Edge, but you know, it's a new machine. So now what we're going to do is we are going to, I brought my cat into the studio, so she has a lot to say about pretty much everything right about now, and I'm sure you can hear her. So now we're going back into YouTube Studio, and you can see that this is the same one. So these are now connected. We've already copied this, we've put it in the stream, we've taken the stream key, we've put it into OBS, so OBS knows where it needs to be put. So this will now work. However, in order for people to actually be able to watch the stream, they obviously need a link. So in order to do that, we have to open another window. Again, we're going back to studio.youtube.com, and what's going to happen is we're actually going to look for that link, and I'll show you exactly where that needs to be seen. So in order to find that, we're going to go on the left hand side here. So on the left hand side of YouTube Studio, we're going to go down to content, which is the second one down. And then when we go to content, we're going to see two toggles. We're going to see videos, which is not what we want, and then we're going to have live, which is exactly what we want. So now you can see that the test that I've created, which is what I want, this tutorial test, OBS test, SkyCron, etc., is here. So you can see that it's here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on that, and now we can actually see the video link here. So if you want to put it on Facebook, like Facebook, so people can see it, or on the website, or embed it somewhere, you need this link. Without this link, people aren't going to know where they're going to get it. So this is the link that the stream is going to live at, and that's the link that if you want people, if you're sending stuff to people to say, hey, watch this cricket match at this time, this is the link you need to give them. This is basically the TV channel so that they know. So you're going to copy that and then put that on your, as a Facebook post or on Instagram or Twitter, or an email to everybody that you want to watch the stream. The other thing is, because we've made this stream public, anybody that goes to the home YouTube page for Cricket Saskatoon, it will actually show as a live broadcast. So anybody that is already a subscriber will get a notification automatically that there is a match going on. And so anybody, so in case like that, you don't actually need to send them anything, right? Because they'll be able to see, oh, there's a match, and they can see it. So that's one of the really cool things about it. But if you want to actually embed it somewhere on your Facebook, or for somebody that isn't already subscribed, you need to give them this link. So again, we're going to copy that link, right? And then you'll copy that and put it where you're going to put it. So now we have everything ready to go for our, basically for our live stream. So now I'm going to minimize this. So now what we need to do is we need to go back into OBS, sorry. So everything we can see is now set up. So this is now ready to go. We've now configured a stream, and now we can go ahead and start broadcasting. Now obviously the one thing we want to make sure before we start, before even opening OBS, before even turning on the computer, or at least opening up OBS, we want to make sure that all the cameras, or the camera that is being used, is on and the microphone is connected, so that OBS can see it and it doesn't get confused. Now that we have everything set up, now we can go ahead and start our broadcast. So I'm going to minimize this again, and I'm just going to double check the configuration that I've made. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take, just as an example, if somebody wants to monitor it just to make sure that it's working, you can open it up in a new window or send that to somebody, and then we're going to put that there, and that can be monitored. So we can see it says waiting for Cricket Saskatoon, and this is the link that, you know, anybody that is looking at this is going to see. Okay, so I'm just going to close that for, well, I'm just going to minimize it for now. So now what we're going to do is we are actually going to go back to our YouTube Studio toggle for our tutorial test, and you'll see that there's a little go live thing here. See that? That's actually going to change to another color when we start streaming, and the reason that we can't do anything with this yet is because YouTube is waiting to see a signal from YouTube, right? It's basically waiting to detect something that it is able to work with. So now we're going to go into OBS, and we are going to start the stream. So just as an example, I have just sort of a basic standby. I'm going to fade to black. Sorry, Joy. And we're so what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a quick transition here. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I'm actually going to show you what I'm doing. So these three things are scenes, and I'm actually probably going to get rid of this standby scene or change it. But basically, this is just so that you have something going on when the stream starts. And every time you click, you want to change to something, you have to click the angle and then hit transition in order for it to be live. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, obviously, I want my standby. So I'm going to hit transition, and it's there. So now that my stream is starting, like, obviously we can make fancy graphics and we'll improve this all later, but the idea is just to have something that we know is working to get time to start the stream. So now we're going to start streaming. See this start streaming button? I'm now going to click that. So I've hit standby, I've hit transition, so it's now live in the program window. So I'm going to hit start streaming. Start screaming. That was earlier. So that was earlier. We were doing lots of screaming. It's like, why doesn't this $! thing work? Welcome to the world of OBS. I've been working in broadcasting for 20 years with millions of dollars worth of equipment and OBS, I'm telling you. Anyway, so now we are streaming. But even though we are streaming, we are not yet live, because we have to go back to YouTube. As I say, there's a lot of... So now what we're going to do is we actually have to wait. So right now, OBS is sending a stream, but it'll take a second for it to see this go live. So you're not actually live until you see that. So see, now it's blue. The go live button is now blue, and I can see the stream that I have coming from YouTube, or sorry, from OBS. So now I'm going to hit go live. You absolutely must have this step. If you forget to hit go live, you will stream and broadcast nothing. You must, absolutely 100 million, zillion, trillion % hit go live. If you forget to hit go live, you will not have a broadcast. I know this because many people have forgotten this. I have occasionally forgotten it. In my opinion, it is very easy to miss, but don't miss it, because then your entire audience will miss it and nobody will get to watch cricket. And the only crickets that there will be is what's left of you. Yeah, exactly. The only crickets that'll be will be what's left of all of us, from people wondering what the heck happened to the match. So we're going to hit go live. So I'm going to let that go. So you can see that it's going live, and you just have to let it go. It takes how long it is. We're going to ignore that the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate, because right now we're just trying to make sure it's working. So now it's going to be live. I'm not going to leave this open because it's using a lot of bandwidth, but now you can see that this is what everybody is going to see. So we now know that this is working. This is our actual link that everybody's going to see. And you know, so this is how we do it. Got it. I guess right now I am temporarily acting as Cricket Saskatoon, so I'm gonna say, yo, subscribe. Subscribe? Apparently I wrote subscribe, even though I'm broadcasting this on the Skycron channel. I'm usurping the Cricket Saskatoon channel. So this is now working. So we can see that this is working, and whoops, I'm going to open that again. So we can see that the broadcast is now working, and we can see it. So again, if I open it, I can actually see that this is live. So now the entire world can see it. So now we're going to go back into OBS, because we actually are live now. So this is actually there for the world to see. So the first thing we're going to do is now, because standby is here, we're going to go down and we're going to click to opening stream. So we've got a little bit of a countdown here that's already ready to go. So I'm going to click on opening stream, just this one on the left hand side here, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to click on transition, and then this countdown is going to start playing in this program window. So this one on the right is actually what's going to YouTube. So I'm going to hit transition, and then we've got a nice little countdown going on here. So what's happening now is that this countdown is going, you know, and obviously once we get to 0, then we're actually going to start our feed, and that's the third one down. So this is basically how that goes. And what's also nice about this is it gives you a little bit of time to kind of get going. People can kind of chat in the chat pane, and sort of you can kind of get people kind of revved up and ready to go for the match, and you know, and kind of push upcoming matches and things. It's just sort of a nice way to be able to get things ready, and this is one of the things that I like about it. And then you want to be quick on the draw here, so I'm going to click camera 1 feed, right, because this is our rockin' the hat. Whatever you're drinking, I hope it's good. Alright, and now we're going to transition to the one and only Joy Sareen. He is our up and coming, not up and coming, he is the greatest star the history has ever seen. The epic bowler, the greatest bowler the Warriors have ever seen. So all of you out there, run, run. So again, what I've...
But you can never be unseen from my sight.
He can never be unseen from Joy's sight. So this camera 1 feed is actually our feed that's live. So every time you want to switch to another source, you basically click that scene and then you hit the transition button in order for it to be live. So right now, this is the live feed. And then obviously, as time goes on, we'll add a second camera and a third camera possibly, or we would create a scene that has advertising for like advertisements for the sponsors, promotions, maybe something that says subscribe, that sort of thing. The sky is the limit. But basically, all the things that you want to cut to are created as scenes. And every time you want to change to a scene, which might be another camera or might be an advertisement or whatever, you just click that scene and right like I'm doing here, and then you just hit the transition button and it makes it go live. I mean, I've just got, you know, these three, and then there's the standby again, just as an example. Hit transition, it's live. Opening stream, transition, it's live. Camera 1, feed, transition, and Joy is back with us. So that's basically it in a nutshell. As long as you do these things, that's pretty much all you need to know in order to get it going. When you are done with your stream, I recommend hitting fade to black, because then it lets people know that it's over, and then it doesn't look like it's just sort of an abrupt, you know, just that's the end of it, almost like somebody didn't have the patience to watch the credits. It's just a little bit more professional that way. It doesn't have to be done. I recommend it. So we're just going to hit fade to black, like so. And then once it's faded to black, then we just hit stop streaming. And it'll stop the stream. But we're not done yet here, folks. We still have to tell YouTube to stop recording, because YouTube does not know, right? So we're going to go back to our live stream, and now we're going to tell it to end the stream. This big red button, we're going to hit end stream like so. And it'll say your stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. And we're going to say end, and that's the end of the stream. So now if we go back and we look at our stream, and I, you know, take the stream that I'll just click on this one. If I look at this, we can see that the stream is right here. So we've done our little test stream, you know, 5 minutes and 35 seconds or whatever, and everything is here, right? So we have our stream, and like I'm just kind of going through it, but you can see that everything is here. And the beautiful thing about it is once it's done, people can watch as much as they want, and that's really all there is to it. There's all kinds of cool things that can be added, but that is how a stream is put together. That's just about it. So for anybody that's watching, I guess you can't subscribe to your own, you know, warriors. You can't subscribe to your own channel, but and I think Cricket Saskatoon already subscribes to the Skycrown channel, so I won't be crass. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So I am now going to fade to black myself. So that is our incredibly bare bones how to get things set up, and that pretty much sums it up. So whatever you're watching this on, subscribe.